Biggie Smalls update. Okay, so recently got a big alarm for a gang. I mean, literally, swindlingly, and out like somebody was paying attention to my phone call in my next corner. Okay, so if you didn't know, before I left for AO, it was re-announced, reenactminated. That was a new version of Biggie Smalls. And the anecdote in this generation, because what made me different was my mom told me not to go outside. What I started doing, literally, when you put me in predicaments, because my dad and my mom come from Chicago. Say if I would have friends that are actual rappers like Kara S1 and Busta Rhymes, I would literally tell them their names like, Mom, I'm gonna go hang out with my friend Busta, I'm gonna go hang out with this guy named Luda. She would come and be like, oh, you're so gullible. So, what this is, particularly, going to is recognize that, I recognize that a gangster is literally, is oblivious of something. But I saw just now, this let me know that a gang was involved. So, I'm gonna put it like this. Was a past victim of domestic violence that removed his victim due to spanking in the movie theater. Now, what I did was I learned this field of study more intricately. I started saying over and over and over again was, the common, problem. Somebody saying the same thing every day on top of wearing clothes. I learned that there are three levels that. It's DeVario, Ontario, and Megalodon. What my mother does is she has DeVario, but she sneaks in Megalodon through things like tap dancing, rapping, autism, and things like skateboarding, and overall, attacking the modem. So what this is figured out that literally some families actually know that you have to match your tree, in order to actually score, because rules of the Vario is typically having Asperger's, and I have Asperger's. I tell you to do things like read. I tell you to expand your mind, like do things like reading. And what reading does is it calls out the other person's toothpick and it gives you the tool that you need to survive in school. And the cousin, tells you to wear teal. The cousin who's fine tells you to wear teal. And the older brother, tells you to play sports. That's all in one Vario. But the whole time I didn't match your tree. Lily, I didn't feel for you. Lily, I didn't understand that autism was closer to a retard. It expands from an oxymoron, but basically do everything, so I end up, doing this, Illuminati replay, lately with Alex's mom saying that you don't want to do the Vario because it has you compare a peanut from a payday, because a white person sold you a payday to a freaking dog that's in the house. A peanut has too much sugar. So if you didn't know, I hope I don't get off topic of this video, but I use Captain Kuro, which is symbolism that I'm a temptation in Morham. What I was I was the biggest, anime, nerd on YouTube, where it came to the actual art of anime. No other anime just viewed it as art, just like me. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so what Captain Kuro is doing was, originally in the Rock, when it came to their first, active DV, lately, I just said, Poker Face, and Poker Face is a sequence where I do two things, and 9 times out of 10, they do the exact same thing, I did. They say, Poker Face, they beat their mom in the level of cereal, and they break their arm in front of them because they recognize what goes around comes around. But then it does in the hood, but it does in terms of integrity. Like, you get the last laugh, you get all these intellectual things, like everybody singing your song on the street, and then your mother is, calling out what's utmost simple. Then you have people double imply that it's your own requirement. You're trapped in your own Draco the Ruler. It ended up happening because my shit was so big, because my channel and my Snoop Dogg were so big. The Vario and Ontario became slang terms in school. And a guy literally tries to go up to a girl literally after point, the dance floors are like, my Ontario will kill you. He is that thing, because I used the whole black room in one line, and, when things drag on, shit like that's gonna happen with me, when I was in the street, literally with Max and shit, it made me realize something, and, I know that ill-mind of a rapper comes to mental condition. Now, this is a girl named Crystal Lily, who I had in my senior year. Lily, a girl that was all over me, throwing food at me and shit. Lily spilling her Gatorade, all over me and shit. Lily, but I can tell, it was this fake. And Crystal's a Mexican girl. I recognize her next, where a Mexican girl, you do get a gang. And, I was wearing sleeves and I was walking with her, this and that. Then I was showing her how to dance and shit. Omar was like, hey, cool moves, buddy. Those sleeves and everything that you can't basically fall back on. I'm not doing that. I'm 30. That's the last time I talk about high school on my channel. How I trapped myself was being an entertainer, and that entertainment is slowly intertwined within junior high. Literally, so I trapped myself forever before 30. But that's it. That's the last bit you get to see on the channel. And, Crystal does look just like Destiny, and that's why I take So when I had the mentality when I was a mob boss back around the days literally, I was feared as Frieza. My mentality was, The whole point of being a gangster where eventually a law is going to catch you. So what I did was I watched 2 documentaries of two, hood nigga shit. So I started, a phase with Master P in the beginning of the year, the beginning of my 29, when I needed to catch up, on hip hop because, my brother literally was the fiercest, older brother of all time. Because what happens is what you do goes up against our word. So what happened was, he would trap me, in a whirlwind flow. Can't get past it because what he would do was he would apply, retarded standard, so I'll never get away with, asking a stupid question or, getting away with a stupid thing or having a tree dragged on. So it started off, when I had my girl, multiple girls. There was Lily, there was another Vanessa. Most of all, the theme of this year, didn't work into the end because I tried Ryan. What Ryan is he's a red character, where everything lands on a point like the Grim Reaper, and it didn't work because, of course, at 29 they got reposted. I figured it out, I tried something blue, and obviously worked, but I was like, 29, I don't want to do a little kid, I want to expand for 18 that looks like a tour or anything. So what happened was, everything red I did literally got blocked until the end. And every time I tried to do something red, like with Zero, right? Literally, I would end up, in the government shutdown, I would hand in hand my research. Like, we don't, tolerate, trifling or quality. That's why I'm shutting it off. I tried to absorb Merrick, couldn't do it. I tried to absorb, R and Ryan, I couldn't do it. Then at the end, it was a collective. So what I did was I looked up 2 documentaries, NWA, Public Enemy, because I already, listened to a Master P song, earlier this year. I listened to, the song Wicked by Ice Cube literally when I was on the way to see Wicked, and the same day I lost my chain. And I had a girlfriend named Ricky Lee Divine, that I met at the convention. She's another Amy. What that means is I recognize, a government secrets. You know what they say, the police are the worst gang in America? Literally, I know now that a gang knows something about the police that, they have a connection to domestic violence, and the whole angle I have literally, and why I'm so open to, about everything on YouTube is that you can't run for the government. What's the whole point of having, this knowledge of the government, this and that, if you're not the one in charge, if you're eventually got to bow down to them? So, literally, that's the same thing with work. What's the whole point of literally doing all this, literally, when, you can obviously get fired at work? They're saying that, a gang's behind it. I'm like, okay, so a gang can be behind, some jobs, but overall, this and that, so I don't know, literally, if a gang could be in the way of the FBI, literally, that's on you, but that was my mentality, and that's why I held on to understanding society as long as possible. That's when a gangster has the most freedom.